Right, very good morning to one and all, and I welcome all the listeners of this video for the next session on Python. So from the last class, we started learning about the strings in Python. Especially in the last class, we had seen that we can define strings in Python either in single quotes, double quotes, or triple quotes. Okay, and then we have seen the things regarding, or we have seen some of the methods in Python, that is how to access the strings by using index values and how to slice a string. And then we have seen about how to concatenate two strings. Okay, and then we have seen the things regarding how to print a string in reverse order. Okay, so for example, we have a string called as something called as a equal to English, right? A equal to English. So if you want to print the reverse order of the string, right? If you want to print the reverse order of this string, we had seen we had used the subscript, right? Subscript. In that subscript, we have three parts. We already studied that one. So the begin part, the end part, and the step part. So the begin, end, and step part. So among all these parts, if you provide something called as 2, and here if you provide 5, and if the step is 1, if you run the code, you are going to get GLI as an output, because we had started at index number 2 and we had ended at index number 5 minus 1, that is 4, and each and every time we are going to increment by 1. So it is 0, it is 1, and it is index number 2. So G is printed on the output screen, index number 3, L is printed on the output screen, and index number 4, I is printed on the output. So this one will not be included in the output. Okay, so in the similarly, if you want to print the reverse order of that string, take these two values as empty, that is the begin value and the end value as empty, and instead of taking positive 1, if you go for the negative 1, then you are going to get the reverse order of the given string. You can see here ENGLISH HSILGNE. So the entire string has been reversed by using -1 at the step. Okay, so here in today's session, we are going to look at some more string handling methods in Python. So for example, there are two, for example, I want to concatenate two strings. For example, there are two strings. First one is English, and the second one is that, right? And the second string is that B equal to something called as Telugu, right? B equal to Telugu. And if you want to concatenate both the strings, you can simply provide A plus B in the print function. So both the strings will get concatenated. And at the same time, you are also allowed to use the that asterisk symbol, that is the multiplication operator, along with the strings. For example, here we had used the addition operator, and instead of this, if I use the multiplication operator followed by any number, for example, let us say 2, A star 2, now what will happen is, A is a variable, A variable contains the string English, that English will be printed twice. If you run the code, you can see here, English and English has been printed. At the same time, if you want to print the same string for 4 times, it is simple. You can print by using A star 4. If you do this one, that English will be printed for 4 times. So you are allowed to use the plus symbol, and at the same time you are allowed to use the star symbol. Okay, now what I want to do here is, I want to find, right? I want to find the count of a particular letter in the given string. For example, here in the last class, we have taken one example called as Malayalam. So see here, in the string, by using a Python program, right, in the string by using a Python program, I want to find how many number of times that A was occurred in the string. You can see here, you can simply study A is occurred for the first time, second time, third time, and fourth time. So A has been occurred for 4 times in the given string. It is okay. But let us assume I have a text and the text is of 1000 pages. And among that 1000 pages, I want to see how many times that A has been occurred in that 1000 pages of text. It is very difficult for the user to find or to count the character A in the entire 1000 pages. But it may lead to, at the same time, it may lead to an error in counting, or sometimes because human generally make mistakes, sometimes we may miss one character A in one page, and we may count couple of times the same character A. But when you write a program, it may be a program in any language. When we write a program and when we ask the program to tell how many times that A has been occurred in the given text, it will give the perfect answer. So see here, for this, I'm going to take one for loop. For example, for I in A, for I in A. So we already studied these for loops, right? When we say I in A, the I value will start at 0 and the I value will end at, just a second, I value will end at n minus 1. That is, for example, here we have 9 characters. So we are taking the condition I equal to 0 to I less than 9, and each and every time I will be incremented by 1. Okay, so when we say A equal to Malayalam, immediately 9 spaces will be reserved for this string. M will be stored in the first 0 index, and A will be stored in the first index, and similarly M will be stored in the 8th index. Okay, so when we say for I in A, I value will start at 0 and end at n minus 1, that is 8. Okay, so see here, for I in A, what I want to do, I want to find the number of occurrences of character A in the string Malayalam. So I want to take an if condition. If each and every time the string will be stored in I. So if I equal to A. So if I equal to A, so I want to define one more variable here. For example, C equal to 0. Okay, C equal to 0. Or take something called as count equal to 0. Okay, so if I equal to A, what I want to do here is I want to increment count. So count plus plus. I'm sorry. So this increment operator is will not work directly in Python. So you can consider count plus equal to 1. Count plus equal to 1. So what will happen whenever the character is equivalent to A, the count value is going to be incremented by 1. Initially, we have taken the count value as 0. Whenever there occurs A in the given string, count will be incremented by 1. Okay, so see here, after this one, I am going to print the output. For example, print, I want to print the count, and within the text, I want to print 3 times occurred. Okay, count, and within the double quotes, I have written times occurred. So at the count, the number of times that a particular given character has been occurred will be printed on the output screen, and at last it will print times occurred on the output screen. So if you run the code, just a second, we need to separate this one with a comma. It is a variable and it is a text. We need to separate both of them with a comma. That's why I got a syntax error at line number 6. And if I run the code, you can see here. So this is the Python program where I want to find character A, or where I want to find the number of occurrences of character A in the given string. So the output is that 4 times occurred. So see here, the initial C value is 0, or the initial count value is 0. I'm sorry, initial count value is 0. Initial count value is 0, right? Whenever the A has been occurred, count will be incremented to 1. And the second time A has been occurred, count will be incremented to 2. And if the third time A has been occurred, count will be incremented to 3. And if the fourth time it has been occurred, the count will be incremented to 4. So that's why we got 4 times occurred as an output. And at the same time, I want to find the number of occurrences of L. So if I want to find the number of occurrences of L, simply in the if condition, if I equal to provide L and increment the count. If you run the code, you can get the output 2 times occurred. So in the Malayalam, L has been occurred for the 2 times, and you can find any other character Y, and if you run the code, 1 time occurred. Okay, this is how we can find the given character inside a string. For example, if I have given something called as a character which is not present in the string. So if I provide the same, if I provide a character which was not present in the string, then I am going to get 0 as an output, because we had already initialized the count variable with 0, right? We had already initialized the count variable with 0. That's why I got 0 times occurred. Okay, so and just now I got a message that sir, can you please repeat this program again? Okay, right, I want to let us see the program again. Initially I have declared a variable A, right? I have declared a variable A. In that variable I have stored the string Malayalam. Okay, now in this string I want to find a particular character, or I want to find the number of occurrences of a particular character. ఒక క్యారెక్టర్ తీసుకొని ఆ క్యారెక్టర్ ఎన్నిసార్లు వచ్చిందో కౌంట్ చేద్దామని చెప్పేసి అనుకో. సో ఇది ఒక చిన్న స్ట్రింగ్, మలయాళం అనేది ఒక చిన్న స్ట్రింగ్ కాబట్టి సో మనం ఈజీగా ఏ అంటే ఒక 4 సార్లు వచ్చిందని, లేదంటే ఎల్ అంటే ఒక 2 టైమ్స్ వచ్చిందని చెప్పేసి, ఎం అంటే ఒక 2 టైమ్స్ వచ్చిందని చెప్పేసి మనం సింపుల్ గా చెప్పొచ్చు. బట్ ఇదే వేరియబుల్లో ఒక 1000 లైన్స్ ఆఫ్ టెక్స్ట్ గా ఉంటే ఆ 1000 లైన్స్ ఆఫ్ టెక్స్ట్ లో ఏ అనేది ఎన్నిసార్లు వచ్చిందని చెప్పాలి అంటే మనం ఆ 1000 లైన్స్ ఆఫ్ టెక్స్ట్ మొత్తం చదువుకుంటూ వెళ్ళాలి. సో అక్కడ ఏమవుతుందంటే ఒక్కొక్కసారి ఒక్కొక్క ఏని మనం మిస్ చేయొచ్చు, లేదా ఒక ఏనే 2 సార్లు కౌంట్ చేయొచ్చు. సో మనకి అక్కడ కరెక్ట్ అవుట్పుట్ వస్తుంది అన్న గ్యారంటీ ఏం లేదు. బట్ అదే టెక్స్ట్ మొత్తాన్ని తీసుకొచ్చి ఇలాగే ఒక వేరియబుల్లో స్టోర్ చేసి ఏదన్నా ఒక ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాసి గనక మనం చేసామంటే కరెక్ట్ అవుట్పుట్ వస్తుంది. సో ఇక్కడ ఒక కౌంట్ అనే వేరియబుల్ని తీసుకుంటున్నా. ఆ కౌంట్ అనే వేరియబుల్లో 0 అనే వాల్యూని ఇనిషియలైజ్ చేశాను. చేసిన తర్వాత ఫర్ లూప్ తీసుకున్నా. ఈ ఫర్ లూప్ ఏంటంటే నా స్ట్రింగ్ లో ఉన్నటువంటి ఫస్ట్ క్యారెక్టర్ నుంచి లాస్ట్ క్యారెక్టర్ వరకు ఇటరేట్ చేస్తూ ఉంటుంది. ఫస్ట్ ఐలో ఎం ఉంటుంది, తర్వాత ఏ ఉంటుంది, తర్వాత ఎల్, ఏ, వై, ఏ, ఎల్, ఏ, ఎం, ఇలా అన్ని క్యారెక్టర్స్ కూడా 1 by 1 ఐలో రిపీట్ అవుతూ ఉంటాయి. సో ఇప్పుడు దానిలో కండిషన్ రాస్తున్నా. ఇక్కడ ఐలో ఉన్నటువంటి క్యారెక్టర్ ఎప్పుడైనా కానీ, ఓకేనా, ఐలో ఉన్నటువంటి క్యారెక్టర్ ఎప్పుడైనా కానీ ఏ కనుక అయితే, సో దట్ ఈస్ మై ఇఫ్ కండిషన్. ఇఫ్ ఐ ఈక్వల్ టు ఏ, ఓకే, సో ఐ ఈక్వల్ టు ఏ కనుక అయితే, సో అప్పుడు ఆ కౌంట్ అనే వేరియబుల్ని ఇంక్రిమెంట్ చేయమని చెప్పేసి చెప్తున్నా. కౌంట్ అనే వేరియబుల్ని ఇంక్రిమెంట్ చేయమని చెప్పేసి చెప్తున్నా. సో ఫస్ట్ టైం ఇక్కడ ఏ అనేది వచ్చినప్పుడు ఇనీషియల్ కౌంట్ వాల్యూ 0 కాబట్టి ఏతో మ్యాచ్ అయింది కాబట్టి కౌంట్ అనేది 1 అవుతుంది. అండ్ దెన్ సెకండ్ టైం ఏ వచ్చినప్పుడు కౌంట్ అనేది 1 ఉంది కాబట్టి కౌంట్ ఈసారి 2 అవుతుంది. థర్డ్ టైం వచ్చినప్పుడు 3 అవుతుంది. ఫోర్త్ టైం వచ్చినప్పుడు 4 అవుతుంది. సో అప్పుడు కౌంట్ 4 వచ్చింది కాబట్టి మనం ప్రింట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ లో 4 టైమ్స్ అక్కర్డ్ అని చెప్పేసి మనం రాయాలి. అదే 4 టైమ్స్ అక్కర్డ్ అని చెప్పేసి అవుట్పుట్ స్క్రీన్ మీద ప్రింట్ అవుతుంది. సో సేమ్ అలాగే, so instead of taking a single character, if you go for AL, I want to check whether how many times that AL has been occurred in the program. So see here, we cannot do this. Why we are unable to do this? In the sense, in I, for example, this is the space of I, right? In I, first M will be stored. After the iteration, A will be stored. After the next iteration, L will be stored. After the next iteration, A will be stored. And you can see at a particular point of time, no two characters, that is MA, or no three characters MAL, are not going to be stored in I. In I, each and every time one character is going to be stored. Okay, so if you, it is not a mistake if you can run this code, right? But we get 0 as an output, because in I variable at a particular point of time, only one character will be stored. Okay, only one character will be stored in I variable. So if we make the I variable to store 2 or more number of characters at a time, right? 2 or more characters at a time, then we can get the correct output. So I will explain how to match the strings. Don't worry. At present, I is going to store only one variable. That's why if you say I equal to AL, even though in the code we have AL, but still we are getting 0 times occurred, because in I at particular point of time, it is going to store only one character. Okay, so if we make this I variable to store a couple of characters or to store a three characters, then we can get the desired output. Okay, I will explain it in the next programs. Okay, so this is how we can search a letter, right? This is how we can search a letter in the given string. And then let us go for the next operation on strings. See here, in strings we can go for membership test. So membership test, in the sense, we have two variables, in and not in. For example, here the string A is having Malayalam. I want to find print, right? Print A in A. So here the first A is a character and the second A is a string. See here, A is a character and A is a string. If you run the code, we are getting true as an output, which states that what this in function is doing here, in function is going to find the character A inside the string A. Here, let us change something here. For example, Z equal to Malayalam and A in Z. So Z is a string. Just a second. Sir. Right. So Z is a string which is having the Malayalam. And when we write print A in Z, what this in function is doing is that it is going to find whether the character A was present in Z or not. If the character A is present, it may occur for a single time or a couple of times or triple times or quadruple times. It's not a matter. So if A is present at least one time in the given string, then it is going to return true. And at the same time, there is one more, this that is a membership test, right? There is one more membership test, that is something called as A. I want to find not in Z. So I don't want A in Z. So if there is A in Z, it is going to return false. This not in is going to return false. See here, you are getting true and false as an output. And similarly, instead of A, I have taken something called as S. Yes. So when I say print S in Z, when there is a character S in the string Z, then it is going to return true. If there is no character S in the string Z, then it is going to return false. You can see here false. And when we use the same thing here, S not in Z. If it is not in Z, then it is going to return true. The third line is going to return true. If it is in Z, it is going to return false. Okay. So see here, when you run the code, you are getting true for the third line, and you are getting false for the second line. Okay. And now let us look at some built-in functions in strings in Python. See here, in Python, there are various built-in functions that work with strings. So let us discuss about some of the commonly used functions. It is not we cannot discuss all the functions related to strings. So let us discuss about some of the common functions. Okay, common functions which we regularly use on string programs. Okay, so let us start with the function called as len. So there is one function called as len. Okay, len. What this len is going to do is, it is going to find the length of a given string. It is going to find the length of a given string. So if it is a small string, we can count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can say the length of the string is 9. But if you have a one page of string, how can you count that? It will take a lot of time. So in order to avoid all this, we can go for the simple string functions, right? We can go for simple string functions. For example, let us print the length of the given string is the length of the given string is. So the length of the given string is len of the string was stored in the variable z. So len of z. If you run the code, you can see here the length of the given string is 9. So here the length function, it is a length built-in function in Python, which was len. Sorry, it is not length, len. So this len function in Python is used to find, right? Is used to find the length of a given string. Right? Is used to find the length of a given string. So see here, I want to find the length of a given string without using this len function. So what I have to do in order to find the length of a given string without using this len function? So let us write something here. For example, I'm deleting this one. For example, I have taken a variable count equal to 0, and z equal to Malayalam. Now I want to find the length of a given string without using the len function, built-in function in Python. See here, for I in z, simply I want to increment count plus equal to 1. For I in z, count plus equal to 1, and I want to print here, I want to print the length of the given string, length of the given string is, the length of the given string is count. See here, if you run the code, you can see here we are getting the output, the length of the given string is 9. How it is possible? See here, when the first line in the Python program has been executed, right, it is going to create a reserve memory under the name of z, and that memory will be divided into some 9 parts, right? 9 parts. In each and every part, one character will be stored. For example, m will be stored at first, a will be stored, l will be stored, and last m will be stored. Okay, and we had taken a variable count. For example, it reserves some space and it will store 0 inside this count variable. And when we write a for loop, we had written for I in Z, I in Z. So the equivalent for loop in C programming language is that I equal to 0, I less than 9, because when we say in Z means there are 9 characters in Z. So the value of Z will be 9. So I less than 9 and I plus plus. I less than 9 and I plus plus. Okay, so and then we had written count plus equal to 1. So which is equal to, so count equal to count plus 1. So see here, first value I will be 0. When I is 0, the count will become 1. When I is incremented to 1, count will become 2. When I incremented to 3, count will become something called as 4, and so on. So count is going to be incremented each and every time when the I value has been changed. So how many times that I value is going to be changed? I value is going to be changed for 9 times. First it will be 0, and then it will become 1, 2, 3, and so on and so on. When it became 10 or when it became 9, the condition fails. That's why the count is not incremented for that time. Okay, so this is the way, right? This is the way we can print, right? This is the way we can print or we can count the number of characters in a given string without using the function len. Okay, and let us look at the other function, the other common function in Python. So the name of the function is that enumerate. See here, enumerate. The name of the function is that enumerate. So this enumerate functions returns an enumerate object. What that object contains in the sense, it contains the index and values of all the items in the string as pairs. See here. So previously, when we discuss about this one, we are discussing that whenever we represent a string, some memory will be created like this, and that memory will be divided into some equivalent parts, and one text will be stored. For example, the parts will have the index of 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And each and every index, there will be one value. So we are discussing all of these things. But we can simply find what character is stored at which index by using this enumerate function. So what this enumerate function is that it contains index values, index and values. It contains index and values. So see here, for example, 0, at 0 we have m, at 1 we have a, at 2 we have l, and so on. So all these things will be on the output screen in the form of pairs. For example, 0, n. The meaning of this one is that 0 is the index for the character m, 1, a. 1 is the index for character a. So all these things in the form of pairs will be returned as an output when we use this enumerate function. Okay, when you use this enumerate function, all these things will be the output of the code. See here, for example, here I have a variable b, where variable b enumerate, okay, enumerate something called as I want to find z, where b equal to enumerate of z, and then I want to print b. So if I do this one, and if I run the code, I'm getting some enumerate object at so and so location. So this is the memory location where that Malayalam string has been stored. This is the memory location. Now, if we want to find the elements, the index values, and at that memory location, simply use the function list here. Okay, b equal to list of enumerate Z, use the function list, and if you run the code, see here, previously, if you don't use the list, the memory location has been printed on the output screen. But if you use the list along with the enumerate function, then it is going to return some pairs. In each and every pair, there will be index and value. The first one is the index and the second one is the value, right? So here, see here, 0 is the index for M, character M. 1 is the index for character A. 2 is the index for character L, and so on. 8 will be the index for character M. So this is in this way, the given string was stored inside the memory. Okay, so if you want to know simply know the memory location where the string was stored, you can simply go for enumerate of Z. It will give the memory location. Yet that memory, if you want to get the list of key value pairs, list of index value pairs, you can simply use the list here. Okay, if you use the list here, then it is going to print the index and value pairs at that particular memory location. Okay, so with this, I am going to close today's session. And if anybody is having the doubts in today's session, you can raise your hands. Right, see here, in today's session, we had started learning about the asterisk operator along with strings. So when we use an asterisk operator along with a string, that string will be printed multiple number of times. Okay, and then after seeing the asterisk operator, we had started seeing about the something called as how to find the number of occurrences of a character in the given string. Right, we had find by using the for loop and if condition, and then we had seen about the string membership test. We have seen about in and not in operators. So in operator is going to return when it finds the given character in the string, and it's going to return false when it don't find the given character in the strings, and similarly not in has its own importance. And then we had started discussing about the built-in functions in Python. So we have learned how to find the length of the given string by using len function, and we had written one program how to find the length of the given string without using len function. Okay, and then we had started seeing about this enumerate function. Okay, so if anybody is having the doubts till now, you are welcome. So if there are no doubts, I am going to close today's session, and I really thank each and every listener for being here. So we will meet you in the next session for the remaining built-in functions in Python. Thank you very much.